How you doing, guys? In today's video we're going to discuss the idea of dry fire and an experience that I recently had that maybe reaffirmed some ideas for me on how important it is. I've taken fighting pistol, I've taken immediate action medical, so I understand the purpose of dry fire, I understand the importance of it, but an experience that I recently had really shed some light into it on how critically important it can be and how doing something as simple as dry firing with what you wear every single day could literally maybe even save your life. So coming up, just some things that I found out, and let's get into it. Okay, so if you guys are familiar with Jaeger's videos, or if you've taken fighting pistol, you know exactly what this is. This is a blue gun. This is an inert replica of this. And the idea of a blue gun is multifaceted. For one, you can dry fire, which means you get the ability to draw your gun in maybe a realistic situation as far as how you're dressed or how you carry your everyday stuff, and it lets you work out some kinks that may be there that if you didn't do those draws, you'd never know. Because maybe when you went to fighting pistol, it was hot out, but now it's fall or winter and you're wearing a sweatshirt, you're wearing some other clothes on top of it. Have you practiced your draw? Have you tried drawing from that concealment? Or maybe the opposite is true. Maybe you went down in the spring or the fall and it was cool enough that you wore pants, but now it's summertime and you're wearing shorts. Whatever the situation is, you need to practice with what you carry every day. The purpose of training is to be able to practice, and it should be realistic, not just wearing a battle belt in your bedroom and drawing from an outside the waistband holster that you're never going to wear, and all it does is sit and collect dust. So that's what this is for. That's the purpose of the blue gun. Also, as Jaeger has pointed out many times, you could give this to somebody and they would have the ability to handle the same basic size, the same basic weight, the same basic shape without it being dangerous, and get them familiar with feeling the gun in their hands. Show them how to carry the gun, show them how to point the gun, show them how to hold the gun, but not necessarily in a situation where, you know, they're in danger, and they'll be less nervous if they're holding this versus the actual gun. That's the purpose of the blue gun. So the blue gun, like my Glock 19, fits just fine in my Green Force tactical holster, slides right in like normal. So what I wanted to talk about was an experience I had with this. So I do appliances and I do installs, other things, so I'm always using my multi-tool. So I had been using this, and this is just a Leatherman Wave. It's small, it's pretty low profile, does the job. But I wanted to maybe try out carrying out the Mutt, which is a much bigger multi-tool. You can see the difference in thickness if you line these two up. It's a substantial difference in size. What also is different in size is the damn sheath for them. So this is the sheath that comes with the Mutt, and you can kind of see the difference between those two. So I put the Mutt on my belt. I hadn't been dry firing with it. I'd been carrying it about a week or so, and I decided it was time to do dry fire. I've been slacking like everyone does. And so I pulled my shorts on, put my shirt on, and did my draw stroke. I pulled my shirt up, and as I pull my shirt up, it catches on this holster. I can't get the shirt over. Every single time I did a draw stroke, and I went to pull my concealed garment up, it caught on this, without fail. And I realized at the moment, it's like if this had been an emergency, or if this had been something where I really needed to draw my gun, I would have fumbled with it. And potentially would have fumbled with it in a moment that could have gotten me killed. And that was because I had been carrying this for about a week, maybe 2 weeks, and hadn't done any dry fire with my button-up shirt over as my concealed garment. So I realized in that moment, it's like, holy Christ, you know, this just doesn't work, at least for me. And maybe I can train around it, but for the moment, I immediately went back to this, because this is thinner, and when I draw my shirt up to basically come out from concealment, I don't catch on the holster for it. And if I hadn't been doing my dry fire, if I hadn't done that dry fire with everything on, like I know I should be doing, I wouldn't have known in that moment what was going on. I wouldn't have known what could happen. So that's an example of how important dry fire is, because it's not just about getting that draw stroke out and getting faster and all those things. It's about testing out your gear. If you don't test out your gear, you're not going to know how it's going to work in a critical situation. So do yourself the favor, get yourself a blue gun. You should have one already if you've taken fighting pistol. Even if you haven't taken fighting pistol, you should have a blue gun. And do your dry fire. Get dressed as you would for work, for going out with your wife, for going to the soccer game, whatever you're doing, get dressed for it and practice, because that way you're going to know how things are going to perform as much as you can know in a moment of stress. So I'm not trying to preach here, but it's critically important. And it really gave me a sickening feeling when I realized that I was walking around, and could I have gotten past it? Maybe. But it really highlighted something for me that kind of it punched it home. So anyway, guys, I hope this information helps you. I hope you take the time to do the dry fire, to practice all those things, so that you can know how things are going to perform when you actually need them. And I hope everything in that instance, if you have to draw that gun, that it works out for you. So that's it, guys. If you liked the video, give me a like. I would love to hear comments, questions, critiques. And if you like the video, you think it's worthwhile, give it a subscribe. And that's it, guys. Have a great day.